Bonsoir, ladies and gentlemen. I would like you, please, to read the description that I put down. Um, I had tonight, unfortunately, I witnessed two streams. Actually, not all of them, but I think that I witnessed what I needed to witness. Let's get this out. Um, NGL was having a stream. I'm sorry, I'm tired and I'm totally dumbfounded by what I've saw tonight, what I've witnessed, and uh, the pittiness, I don't have any names to describe that. NGL was having a stream about truthfully Trisha. Normally, I don't go in NGL streams because I have an opinion about her, and it's been a long time since her beginning. This is nothing to do with what happened tonight, okay? But because she was having truthfully Trisha, that this all BS shenanigans, everything you want to call in the DC, um, everything started there, So I was interested. I was curious. That's curious. So therefore, I go there, and at one point, NGN loses her mind live, like in a way that if you're in a restaurant and you see somebody like that, you're calling an ambulance to take the person to the hospital. Really, I can understand a life coach getting like that. It doesn't enter my mind, but I don't want to speak about that. Then you get to understand that somebody is streaming her, and they're streaming her with a lady that's been on the crime side community. She used to be, I believe, a Patreon of Perplex, and friends with some of these ex-Patreon members now, and was indeed good friends with MGL, and was in her Patreon, and everything seemed kumbaya, jumbala. I have to laugh because I'm in a very dark place right now. And went to see the stream just to lurk, because I'm a nosy, curious person at time, and tonight I felt like that. So went there, and I hear that person. They call her Pouty Mouth Mama, I believe, PMM there. I always want to see PMS. I don't know why. PMM, and she was discussing about what happened. Uh, I don't know how to say this. To not hurt the kid, but apparently something happened to her kid, and everybody knew about it, and I did not know about that. First of all, I I learned about it tonight because since I don't watch everything, since there's only 24 hours in a day, I cannot be everywhere. So I learned. I wish I never learned about that, honestly, because uh, it's a terrible subject. But anyways, so this PMM elaborate on the subject a bit, and the wish list with the Christmas gifts and everything, back in December, all that jazz there, and finally, that is why we understood that NGL had lost her shit because of that. And apparently, NGL and the crew and the Patreon made sure that she had everything for her kids for Christmas. especially because she was going through lots of stuff and all that jazz. But the thing is that what about the kid that is going through all that jazz? What about Amanda Lynn? Amanda Lynn, I really have had a soft spot for you. Tonight, you broke my aspiration towards you. And I'm not crying because I'm sad. I'm not crying. I'm emotional. But you use something, and I'm not even. I don't think that PMM was used. I think she knew exactly what she was doing because there was an issue between her and MGL about some stuff, and to me, it's all irrelevant. The kid is the important person, and that the kid is the person that all eyes should be turned on. I mean, the kid should be the person that should be protected from those women, from these women that use their platform to show their ego, to show their resentment, to show their 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 true colors. And I don't know how this can be acceptable. And for the first time in 2 years and a half, I believe, I chatted in NGL, begging her to shut her stream down, begging her in capital letter. And you had people in there that, where was encouraging the stream to go on and on and on. And it was terrible. It was like a nightmare. And I'm going to tell you why it was like a nightmare for me. Anyways, I was victim of essay, okay? Now it's the thing, we have to say essay. Um, I was 5 or 6 the first time, and it was by my cousin that was 10 years older than me. He was a teenager, so 16 years old. And this was the 70s, okay? There was not even CPS back then in the 70s. In Quebec, in the province of Quebec, CPS, Children's Services, there happened around 1977. So, and I was way younger than that. So, it was part of the folkloric uh, big families. Like you had the uncle that was a little bit kinky. You had this cousin that was a little bit not too good. So it happened one night, and nothing bad. It's bad, but nothing came to conclusion with him. You know what I mean? I don't want to. But what happened afterwards? I was sick, so I didn't know what was going on, and you know. So at one point, I told my older sister, and maybe 2, 3 months afterwards. Um, my older sister is 13 years older than me, and she was already married, and she already had 2 kids. So she was outraged, outraged. So she told my mother, and my mother was outraged also, but not in the same way. My mother was outraged that if it was found by the other member of my families, like her other sister, brothers, or listen, my grandmother died at the age of 104, 103. She had 16 kids, 14 alive, and she had 58 or 57 grandchildren, 20 great great, and 5 great fifth generation. Okay, so it's a huge family, and you fart and everybody knows. So she was afraid, and instead of protecting me, she decided not to speak about it. But my sister spoke about it. She spoke to my aunt, the mom of this cousin there, and my aunt said that I most probably provoked him. I was 5 or 6. And since I did not have a father, I never met my father. I never saw at this point, uh, I want to stay child friendly, a D. Never. So when I saw that D, I was really afraid because didn't sound, it looked like a big snake. And how could I, but so it went undercover and nothing happened. She was not hurt per se, and blah blah blah. But I was hurt. But I kept it to myself because I didn't want to create a family turmoil, and I didn't want my aunt to be mad at my mother. And I loved in that family there were five, and my youngest cousin was my age, and I loved him, and I wanted to continue to see him every Sunday. We would go and eat there. So I was the bigger person at 5 or 6 years old. Anyways, move forward. My mother meets this man. I was like 10 maybe. And they're dating and on and off. And finally, a year later, she decides that she moves in with him. So, like I say, my elder sister is already married, and by that time, she has three kids. My mid sister is on a program in Europe for an student exchange. And we're not rich at all, okay? But she had that opportunity because she had met someone that wanted to do an exchange, and everybody agreed, and it was a great thing for her. She went in Germany for 1 year. So that year she was in Germany. So I was left alone with my mother, that boyfriend, and that man had a son, that was 5 years younger than me. So he was 6, I was 11, and this man was beating my mother every weekend from Friday to he was hangover on the Sunday. So every weekend beating my mother every weekend. At the point that maybe 6 or 7 months into the relationship, one one night I went in their room and I jumped on his back, to try for him to leave my mother alone. And my mom was very strong. She was defending herself. But I wanted to help her. At that point, I love my mom. So, in revenge of that, he started stuff. Anyways, so when she left him a couple of months after that, I think she knew what happened to me, but I never wanted to speak about it. My mother today is 97, okay? She had some, in her brain, the way I see her brain is it's like a drawer. She has a drawer for that, another drawer for that. And there's some that you can open with a key, those, and the other ones are sealed. It's never going to be. And this is part of seal. So again, it was taboo and nobody needed to know because it's going to create a turmoil. The same shit that happened to me at 6. So again, because I didn't want my mother to be stuck in a bad situation with her family, her mother, her brother, or sister, I shut up. For From there, I was 11. The next time I spoke about it, I was 45. So you have a gap of almost 30 years between the two. And something happened like this there. Something happened like that. I had a really, really bad dream one night. And I started to cry and I couldn't stop myself. I couldn't stop myself because I had this drawer that was closed with a key that I didn't want to open, but I let it go. So the thing that happened in between that man and me and my mother, the good thing, that seeing my mother being abused every weekend made sure that for me, you know what I did? I broke the circle because one of my sister got, I cannot say a little bit, it's abuse, you know, you're not a little bit abused, you're abused, point blank, okay? And the other one also, I refuse to fall in that category. So I broke the cycle. I really did broke the cycle. And for that, I have to thank my mother. I have to be grateful to her to in a way, and I'm not sure that she's doing that for that, you know? You don't want to get a black eye because you want to show your daughter something. I don't think so. But it did provide me with some skills, let's say. Um, it made me stronger in some ways. It made me humble. It made me realize that no matter what, uh, you cannot trust people on those things. I mean, because you see, for not talking about it from the age of 11 to 45, if I think about that, you know, and I've thought about that, and I went to therapy, I did all that stuff, don't worry. And some therapists, I don't know if you say that, and okay, some specialists told me that sometimes um, you get at a point when you're a SA victim or DV victim or all those stereotypes, these taboo things that you don't want to talk about it, of course, because you're looked at like a victim. And I don't think that until you can speak about it and be proud, not proud to be a victim, but be a survivor. You know what I mean? Because you're a survivor, because you're gonna have PTSD for the rest of your life. And if some people say that they are not PTSD and they brushed it off like this, good for them. I salute you, and I mean, uh, I cannot say that for me. And I can say that. I can say something though. I'm so glad that social media did not exist back then because let's say that I had a mother, my mother was old when she had me 43, but let's say I have a mother of 20 or anyway, she decided to expose her public life, fine. But she exposed her kid private life with such an intense feeling, an intense moral, ugh, immoral. That's the only word I can think of. And I don't blame the mother. It's not her fault that someone did something to her, to the kid. It's I blame the mother to have come here on social media and spoke about it to the universe, to everyone, because this is gonna stay here forever and ever. One day the kid is gonna become an adult. One day the kid is gonna have boyfriend, friends, whatever, and they might Google that kid, find that about the mother. You know, kids are so strange. Teenagers are so strange sometimes. They wanna hurt, or she's gonna meet a man and the man's gonna see that, and if the man is not a good man, he's gonna use her. You know what I mean? It was wrong for the mom to do that tonight, and it was wrong to put her on speaker and to make. I felt so bad, so bad. You're gonna have to redeem yourself from your kid. I'm so sorry that you had to go through that, but victim, your kid is, and you have to redeem yourself. Do that for the kid, please. And for you, MGL, to bring back that to you. It's you, me. I don't get you. That's why I cannot support you. I could never. It's always about me. You're crying, you're laughing a second, the next second. You're making jokes. You be a bad bitch. You sound ghetto, and then you come back. You have class, and all the other ones are in break. I cannot understand your way of thinking. I cannot understand your ego is so huge. It's huge. Calm down. Humble yourself. When the woman said, I'm going to put my daughter on the phone, you should have said no. Everybody was saying, I don't know everybody, but I was saying, close the live, close your stream. This is not good. You still went out and you were crying like, mama. And Mandy Lynn, for what? Imagine, you have kids, imagine. I don't get it. We have to, I don't know. Let I'm telling you, you guys, this takes forever with you. This is so wrong to go and to jump from a life to another life to oh like we're gonna go lower. Let's go lower. Let's go lower than the lowest and the lowest. Uh, and you guys, you have kids, young kids. They're not all they're minor kids. You put them in danger by doing that. You're putting them in danger. I waited until my son got 19 years old to be active on social media. I was lurking. I was watching, anything and everything on social media. I was not active on Twitter. I was watching, all that jazz. But I, I waited until, nothing anybody could do here could hurt him. You could hurt me, but not him. I don't see a lot of people do that. I don't see that, and you need to protect your kid. They're your pride and joy, for fuck's sakes. You don't expose them with what happened in their life. I'm so sorry, but I'm gonna continue. This has to stop. It's so ridiculous to do that for one person or 3% that are not worth using a kid sorrows and humiliation for your benefits. It's not fair. This kid did not sign a paper that she's not allowing her mother to go on social media on platforms where there 1,200 people, 900 people to expose the kid. She did not sign a paper. She should be morally and strongly and not strong morally and use her brain or intelligence or art or soul or mind or value to protect her kid and protect her identity, protect even not protect but not to expose this person that did that. I mean, I'm so confused. No one deserves a medal here tonight. No one has won, no one has lost. You're all empty in your heart. You're all empty in your soul. Well, it's inexistent to me anyway. You need to redeem yourself. That's all I can see. And if you don't want to do it, don't do it. But I don't know how you're going to be able to sleep tonight if you look in the mirror making your makeup tomorrow. I'm so sorry. I don't know how to what to. If I don't cry, I'm going to punch my computer. I don't want to do that. Thank you.